Ever been stuck between going fast or choosing clean code? Or wondered, should we build in house or should we buy a new tool? Today, I'm going to cover 5 software architecture trade offs that you must understand in order to make good technical decisions, but also impress your next interviewer. Hi, I'm Edna. Welcome to my channel. I help software professionals grow their skills and also become more productive by using AI powered tools and workflows. I've been in tech for over a decade now, and I've experienced it all: the promotions, the layoffs, the burnout. So I decided to create this space to help you grow your skills and stay employable wherever you are. Lately, in my interviews with tech companies, I've seen this question pop up over and over again. How do you make technical trade offs? So I decided to create this video and cover the top 5 technical trade offs that I've seen very common throughout my career. And also, I'm going to teach you how to make those trade offs very wisely. In order to make really good technical trade off decisions, I recommend that you ask these questions. What's the business impact of each option? How reversible is the decision? Could it block us later? And lastly, can we decouple it and revisit it in the future? Software teams often use something called ADR, architectural decision records, to make these decisions by kind of looking into context or also reasoning. Stakeholder workshops, guys, it's very helpful in bringing everyone together and aligning them on priorities. I personally have used this in the past and it's been very successful. You can also use tools like Figma or Postman or even Flask to create a prototype and validate before you're committing to something. I've used Figma and Postman in our projects in the past and the teams I've worked at, and they've been very successful. If you have found this video helpful so far, I really would appreciate it if you like, comment, share, but also if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please do so. In return, I will answer all of your comments, but also here's a picture of my frog that has found the best AC in my garden. Y'all, it gets really hot in Austin, Texas, where I live. Here it is. Okay, let's continue. In distributed systems, often you have to choose between consistency or availability. Consistency means that every node in your distributed system always returns the most up to date data, no matter what, even if the user has to wait. On the other hand, availability means you always return a response to the user, even if it's a little bit older data. For example, in the case of banking, right, you always want to prioritize consistency. After all, you don't want to return the wrong bank balance to a user. But in the case of Netflix or other streaming services, you always want to prioritize availability because you always want to show something for your users to watch, even if it's a old episode. What matters is for your app not to crash. Monoliths are simple. Everything lives in one code base. But they're really good if you're small, like a startup, and you also want to go fast. But as you're growing and scaling, those boundaries in your code base become very fuzzy. So, this is where microservices become really useful. Basically, you're breaking your code base into components and its own services, such as authentication, reporting, file uploads. For example, from my experience, we had this product where authentication and reporting were slow, but we couldn't figure out why. So we kind of pulled those out into their own code base and into their own service. And that's how we were able to really track it, figure out what the bugs were, fix it, and basically overall make the product faster. Have you ever been in a situation where you're working on a big feature and suddenly mid project you realize you're sitting on a big pile of tech debt? So, what are you gonna do? You can't just go and clean it up because you've promised this big feature to a really important customer by a certain deadline. So, what do? You compromise. You do what you can, you remove and clean up what you can. You ship the project and feature, and then you come back, you modularize it, you have a good plan for tech debt and slowly work through it. I remember we had a AI chatbot project recently, and we decided that for the token management, we're gonna just hard code the prompts, but we were able to ship that product, right? And then we came back and then we automated it. Build custom and you own everything, the features, the roadmap, the problems, and you can go with the off the shelf product, but then you get speed, right? But you're gonna be locked into what the vendor does, what do they have on their roadmap, and also you kind of lose that flexibility in a way, right? So I remember in one of my past projects, we were using this vendor for some invoicing workflow, and it was very slow, and we really wanted to make some adjustments and feature updates, but we had to work with the vendor, we had to convince them. They had all these other customers they're working with. So what happens is we basically decided to part ways and we decided to build our own. Took a little bit of time, but at the end, it was worth it because it helped us create a system that was a lot more aligned with our customers. Security versus usability. They always seem to clash, right? Security is always adding more steps in order to use the product. For example, SSO login or restricted access or session timeouts. But the usability wants fewer steps so that you can go faster, you can get to the product and use it in the easiest way possible. For example, a banking application, it's maybe better for it to have a 2FA required so that they can confirm the user is the correct one and not like a spammer or scam and all that. So, but if you're trying to just, there's this like product that you're trying to just try it out, the trial version, it shouldn't have like bunch of steps before you can get to the, free trial. So choose the usability versus security really wisely for your customers. Okay, everyone, if you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you could like, comment, share, and if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe to my channel. It helps the channel grow, but it also helps show this content to others who might find it useful. And now I leave you as I always do with a joke because life is too short not to laugh. Custom solutions are like IKEA furniture, more satisfying, but only if you like a challenge, but also missing parts.